Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Aksharadhare. I'm Devraj. I hope you guys are learning great and earning great. Also, following the tips which I have given in the previous videos. And I hope you guys have enjoyed the weekend and also enjoying the new year. So today is 8th January 2024. So before going to start today newspaper reading, I would request you guys to please subscribe the channel, like and comment. If you like the video, please share it with your friends. It may useful for somebody is to utilize the opportunities from Akshardhare and the team. So let's start reading the newspaper The Hindu, which is very important for the point of competitive exam. So let's start reading the newspaper The headlines. This is the headlines. India takes exception to remarks against PM. Five IITs widen reach to our tier 2, tier 3 cities. Congress names observers for 539 Lok Sabha seats. Are there double standards in pitch ratings? Rohit Sharma's remarks have kicked happy debate. Injured Nadal to miss Australian Open. J&K have no local body members from tomorrow. They will complete 5-year terms next local body elections only after delimitation, says official. 6 MPs, District Development Council members are the only elected representatives remaining. Case booked against Jarkiwali. GST revenues reveal a dissonance in consumption growth across states. CM announces grant to KCP. At Chitra Sante, CM announces a grant of 50 lakh to Chitrakala Parishad. Sidramaya says government will provide all assistance to establish museums and art galleries in all districts of the state, especially in North Karnataka. Over 4 lakh people visit the art fair, which was not limited to just the Kumara Krupa Road this time. Fair on millets and organic seeds business transaction of 170 crore. Bangalore keeps its date with heart at a packed Chitrasanti, varying prices for works. COVID 19 Health Department issues norms for healthcare facilities. IIHR technologies helped improve food and nutrition security in states. 31 meter U gird successfully cast for suburban railway project. BMTC to procure 120 MIDI buses to connect narrow routes. Transport Corporation issues a tender to choose service provider for procurement, operation and maintenance of the buses. Presently, BMTC operates MIDI buses on cities routes. The buses will be equipped with intelligent transport management system, passenger display boards, among others. Labor caught smuggling marijuana. Labor killed after a iron rod falls on his head. Presidency School organizes Campus Career Fest. Foundation Pay Day of BIS. Train the mind to think. Why cultivating critical thinking in liberal arts education is becoming increasingly important in today's world. Case against Ramesh Jarkoli for allegedly cheating cooperative bank. The MLA has been booked for cheating Karnataka State Cooperative affects over a loan with outstanding dues of 439.7 crore. Case pertains to a host of business loans for Jarkoli Gokak based sugar factories of Bhagya Lakshmi Sugars Limited, taken from 2013 to 2017. 9 arrested on charge of assaulting cousins in Belagavi. 2.75 million TMC 50 of Krishna water to be released for chili crop. HDK says he will meet Sumalatha if needed. War of words between JDS and Congress continues. BJP launches Mutra Mantrakshati campaign. KSDL to build office space for government departments. India need to learn to use the power Ambedkar gave through the Constitution. Delivering the Yuan Muti Memorial Lecture at BISC, activist Aruna Roy had said that the idea of India as a pluralistic society was changing and a culturalism antithetical to it was growing. Pilatus takes center stage at Carnafix 2024, the greatest bad writer America has produced. A recent study has found that our enjoyment of detective stories depends on our self-esteem. George Michael, the Deccan has been underappreciated. The leading authority on South Asian architecture on the allure of Deccan architecture is commitment to guidebooks and what lies ahead for the Deccan Heritage Foundation. When a fire burns within brightly, Telangana Congress continues to push for fielding Sonia and Lok Sabha votes. The state unit of this party has identified Nalgonda and Khammam constituencies, saying she can win these seats hands down. Its executive committee meeting recently anonymously adopted a resolution urging her to contest from the state. YSRCP BJP are in illicit relationship, says Congress. TN Global Investors Meet kicks off with a vision report for $1 trillion economy. Find yourself in a million stories. Aviation professionalism, which India must draw from. Let's read this editorial page. If there is a possibility of several things going wrong, the one that will cause the most damage will be the one to go wrong. Is one of Murphy's general laws. The aviation accident on Tuesday, January 2nd, 2024, where a Japan Airlines Airbus JL Airbus A350 aircraft collided with a Japanese Coast Guard Bombardier Dash aircraft 8 aircraft at Tokyo's Haneda airport while landing, in which all 379 passengers on the JL plane escaped but with 5 fatalities on the similar aircraft. Is a perfect example of this. There was a notice to airman issued for Haneda indicating that the stop bar, a set of red lights that come on at a taxi holding point for that runway, was not available. The Coast Guard plane was clear to the holding point, which was acknowledged by the pilot to air traffic control (ATC). The ATC tape and transcript also shows the JL flight being cleared to land, which was acknowledged by the pilots. The investigation report will indicate that what made the Coast Guard pilot enter the runway. Did he miss the notice to Hayman? Did he not hear the ATC issue landing clearance to the JL aircraft? The investigation report will identify these, and we can expect the preliminary report in a fortnight. Unlike accident reports in India, which take months and years, aircraft manufacturers are required to demonstrate that an aircraft in maximum density configuration can be completely evacuated within 90 seconds using only half the total number of emergency exits. The world witnessed the highest quality of discipline and crew training, which saved 379 people in the Fury accident. It was an amazing display of orderly evacuation from the burning wreckage that the JAL cabin crew executed. All passengers followed the safety instructions and left the aircraft without carrying their handbags or crowding around after coming down the aircraft evacuation slides. Only 3 exits were available for evacuation. The cabin public address system was not working, and the crew used a megaphone and voice announcements for the evacuation. Other incidents: on August 2nd, 2005, Air France flight AF358 from Paris, France to Toronto overshot the runway while landing in heavy rain and caught fire. All 309 passengers were evacuated safely, though 7 received injuries. Images of the evacuation showed several passengers leaving the burning aircraft with their hand luggage. Similar action by passengers on an Emirates flight EK521 from Thiruvananthapuram to Dubai on August 3rd, 2016 that crashed while landing showed a complete lack of discipline on the part of passengers who were grabbing their hand luggage. thus delaying the evacuation. The aviation world should learn a lot from the absolutely high professional standards in JL's training of its crew. Air passengers worldwide should also realize that pre-planned emergency procedures instructions should be followed seriously. Safety concerns training flaws. The Japanese authorities have already made the ATC transcripts public. Contrast this with what would have been several months of silence and secrecy in India. Take the case of an extreme hard landing done by the crew of an Air India Airbus flight from Kochi to Dubai on December 20, 2023. The news was surfaced only after a tracking site showed the aircraft flying to Mumbai on December 27 at an altitude of 9,000 feet instead of the normal 31,000 plus feet. Eventually, the news was that the flight had made a 3.5 G landing at Dubai and was on ground for more than a week. To board that in simple language, G is acceleration due to gravity. If an aircraft does a on G landing, the weight on the wheels equals the weight of the aircraft. A 3.5 gravity landing means the weight on the wheels of the aircraft touchdowns 3.5 times its landing weight for the flight for that wait for that flight. Landing gears are not designed for such an impact, and the resultant damage to crucial aircraft parts can be serious. The plane was permitted to depart as an unpressurized flight and was allowed just one takeoff and one landing. Did the captain report the hard landing in the aircraft tech log? Did he file the flight safety report within 24 hours? A mandatory requirement by the Directorate General of Civil Aviation. What action did Air India take upon learning of the very hard landing? Why did it take more than 10 days to report this serious event? Was there any was there an attempt to hush up this serious accident? A disturbing fact is the failure of the Air India management to act proactively on a report by the instructor who trained the captain. He was a co-pilot on the airline's Boeing 777 fleet and was brought out to the Airbus A320 fleet for his first command. The minimum hours on type that is required for first command were bypassed. Let me quote from the letter that the instructor had sent to the chief of training, operations and also safety for Air India. So they are facing difficulties in exercises which require manual flying skills and raw data flying and had to be recommended for corrective training twice. This I feel can be attributed to their lack of experience in the same, as they both are from the B777 fleet. God forbid if there is an accident involving one of these pilots from the airlines 777 Boeing 787 fleet, many questions will be raised and we will not have any reasonable answers. It was a case of shooting the messenger, and the instructor pilot was sacked from Air India. Today, the airline has several questions to answer. The DGCA and Air India should look at the accidents caused by confusion of flying different types of aircraft, especially when fatigue and stress are involved. One can go back to October 12, 1976, when an Indian Airlines Caravelle flight from Bombay to Madras crashed shortly after takeoff at Bombay and while attempting an emergency landing, killing all 97 passengers on board. The pilots had encouraged endorsement on their licenses to fly the Boeing and the Caravelle. The switch positions for certain functions work differently in each aircraft, which was highlighted in the country in the court inquiry. In the Indian Airlines Airbus crash at Bengaluru on February 14, 1990, where there were 92 fatalities, and the pilots were fresh from conversion training for the aircraft. In the TAM Airlines Airbus crash in Sao Paulo on July 17, 2007. This was the fourth sector of the day. Even though the flight was within duty time, one cannot discount the fatigue factor for the crew. The ATC cause and the wet runaway condition were more in line with the Boeing terminology. The aircraft also had one thrust reverser unserviceable One of the pilots had flown previously on being aircraft. The thrust lever action on a Boeing, where the reverse thrust lever in the cockpit is while locked to different from that of that on an Airbus. All on board the flight literally burned to death. In the Asiana crash in San Francisco on July 6, 2013, the captain had flown previously an Airbus aircraft. On final approach for landing, he was lulled into thinking that the air auto thrust would respond like in the Airbus he was so used to, forgetting that he was on a different aircraft. Focus on standards. Air India has had a long history of covering up serious incidents and accidents with the blessings of the DGCA. The hard landing accident at Dubai should serve as a wake up call for the airline. The airline has just inducted a new aircraft, the Airbus A350, and the criterion for the crew selected to fly. It should be based on very high standards and not on seniority. While the first lot of captains are Airbus experienced, the second lot being sent for conversion are from the Boeing fleet. Both the DGC and Air India should insist on a hard copy of the simulator proficiency check report certification of the pilot's training on this aircraft. Merely stating that the safety is paramount when so many incidents are being swept under the carpet will not improve the reputation of the airline. India can claim to be among the fastest growing aviation markets, but where do we stand on the passenger safety count? The Air India management needs to do some soul searching when it comes to operations, training, and safety. India and its airlines have much to learn from the Japan Airlines incident. Let us go to the next one. Structured negotiation as a boost for disability rights. Structured negotiation is a collaborative and a solution-driven disputes solution resolution technique which is increasingly being used as an alternative to litigation. It typically involves inviting the reporting service provider to the negotiation table and impressing upon them the benefits of complying with the social welfare legislation. While its utility provides sectors, structured negotiation has been most effective in settling disability rights cases in the United States, a development that one of us, Mr. Fingalgold, has played no small part in ensuring. Its success rate so far, structured negotiation has been successful in addressing the issues relating to inaccessible automated teller machines, point of sale device, pedestrian signals, and service provider websites. It has convinced Walmart, CVS, and Caremark to create accessible prescription bottles for blind or low vision customers. It has been able to drive institutional reform by facilitating strategies for creating more accessible voting machines and websites. At the heart of this success lies the win-win situation which the methodology of structured negotiation presents. Defaulting service providers wanted to avoid the high cost and negative publicity associated with litigation, while compliants want a barrier-free participation in the marketplace, both of which can be achieved through a structured negotiation. This is not to dilute the role of the law and the legal advocacy in securing the protection of rights of marginalized populations. Indeed, a key factor upon which the success of structured negotiation depends is the creation of a strong body of disabled friendly legal precedents that create a robust foundation for structured negotiation to take place. Once the courts are able to create a blueprint for what accessibility and compliance with the law in a given sector looks like, structured negotiation emerges as a pathway for businesses to ensure that they are able to make their offerings accessible without having to go through the rigmarole of litigation, and for users with disabilities to obtain a disabled friendly offering without the cost and the unpleasantness associated with litigation. India's red tape, as it is the increasing dependency, paperwork, and red tape in Indian civil courts are already dissuading parties from using traditional dispute resolution methods. India's flagship disability legislation, the Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016, provides that any non-compliance with its provisions may be reported to the Chief Commissioner for Persons with Disabilities. The CCPD then puts the defaulting service provider on notice and may then either direct them to make the services accessible or impose penalties on them for non-compliance. While the creation of a designated body for handling cases on disability rights has been a positive measure, its actual impact on repairing accessibility barriers in the marketplace remains it to be seen. For instance, the CCPD recently directed Paytm a digital payments application to make its mobile applications accessible for persons with disabilities. In complying with the ADO, the Paytm application ultimately became more inaccessible. This incident demonstrates that any attempt to make digital services accessible for persons with disabilities in real time requires constant vigilance and user inputs which can validate the efficacy of solutions. This is where the potential for a structured negotiation technique can be utilized. On one in hand, it can allow service providers such as Paytm to avoid the embarrassment of being labeled as non-compliant complaint. It can also help them avoid hefty legal fees and prevent their officials from being tied up in paperwork before courts for days. And on the other hand, it can enable persons with disabilities to take their concerns directly to the service providers and monitor the fixes as they get implemented. Priority is key. However, at the same time, it is pertinent to note that the success of any alternative dispute resolution model is directly proportional to the level of priority that such as service providers are willing to afford to the struggles of persons with disabilities. Till the time such providers continue to feel that there are no real benefits of providing any services to persons with disabilities, any attempts to settle these claims amicably outside courts would be a tall order to achieve. That said, as Helen Collar noted, optimism is the path that leads to achievement. And so we submit that for India, and the time to deploy structured negotiation in a big way has come. Businesses that refuse to join the bandwagon will be doing so at their own peril, as they will be losing out on the enormous buying capacity that persons with disabilities possess. Even keeping aside the question of legal compliance to one side, it is high time that businesses prioritize the needs of disability users, and exhibiting openness to enter into a structured negotiation would be a powerful step in this direction. Tamil in Jharkhand, CM Soren's troubles are legal and political in almost equal measure. A new high, ISRO should help everyone enjoy the fruits of its new science missions. Christmas under the rubble in Bethlehem. A Christmas feast and a controversy. Modi Christmas lunch with Christian leaders has angered many in Kerala. Is Rohit right about the double standards in pitch ratings? Pitches in the Indian subcontinent get more subpar ratings despite tests getting completed in shorter durations across all cricketing nations. J&K to have no local body members. Maldives suspends three deputy ministers for remarks against Modi. India strongly raises the issue of disrespectful comments about Miss PM with the Foreign Office. The three leaders and had commented about PM's visit to Lakshadweep. Muchi government distances itself from our remarks. Senior Maldivian leaders condemns comments. SC to deliver verdict in the Bilkino Bano case today. 29,000 plus firms busted since May for fake invoices. Mizoram to continue helping displaced Chin's cookies says Junath Singh leaves for a 3-day visit to UK. Use social media influencers, PM tasked police chiefs. GST reveals dissonance in consumption growth. Azina to return as PM as per party sweep polls. Two crucial judgments saw as he take against government has its word and setting these things down right. Congress starts seat sharing talks, names per observers for 539 seats. Party is looking to wrap up discussions in the next few days and finalize the formula by end of the month and is likely to contest anywhere between 255 and 300 seats. Hard big bargain expected in Kerala, West Bengal, Delhi, and Punjab. Don't treat common people of J&K as enemies or militants, says Mahbuba. Tell Bihar voters about efforts to construct a Ram temple, BJP. Arrest leader involved in ED assault case gone. At mega rally in Kolkata, CPI vows to fight Trinamool Congress and BJP. Tribes in Chhattisgarh are subjected to atrocities under tribal CM Congress. Opposition party was to take anti-mining protest over deforestation in a SDO region to the assembly. Key demand of the protesters include a cancellation of PASA coal block and commitment from BJP government not to touch through 2000 square kilometer forest land. Over 1.575 lakh pilgrims can go on annual Hajj from India. India reports 756 new COVID cases, 5 was virus related deaths. PMO imposed a case, CBI files charge sheet against accused. In a first IF-3C 130 with Garuda Commandos makes night landing at Kogil. With flexible courses, IITs open doors for students studying in far-flung areas in India. Home loans, he owned EMI. Simplified process of financial. The EMI station where credit now comes in a sachet. Understand compound returns. Post COVID, when consumers were constrained by many factors, debit card EMI transactions, no cost EMI turned a hit, more than tripling in transactional volumes in July 21 versus February 20. In a country with a significant proportion of youth, affordability has been the tipping point for kinding the EMI resolution. Five trapped in Slovenia since as Saturday has a rainwater flood scheme. China sanctions five US firms following arms sales to Taiwan. Japan ruling party MP held as party part of first arrest over fund scandal. Fire at Bangladesh Rohingya camp guts more than 1,000 shelters. Israeli army wraps up a major combat in northern Gaza. Air strike in southern city after Rafah kills two journalists. Going forward, Israeli to focus on central and southern parts of the enclave. Antony Blinken visited Qatar, one of the key mediator countries. Two Israeli, 9 Palestinians killed in West Bank violence. South Korea accuses North of firing shells for third day. Regulators across the world order inspections on Boeing MAX 9 planes. A strike on Myanmar village kills for 15 as junta battles rebels across country. A Dakar rally branch of top states one for Euro Motorsports. India is one of the best traveling sites. Ashwin reacts to Wagcon. Australia's ferry makes a record 300 international appearances. Deepthi completes the 1100 bubble in T20 Ice, fourth to do so. Paltan Pip Talai was Steelers get the better of various. Garth Paris shine in a low scoring encounter as Australia levels the series. Skipper Rohit Kohli back in T20 squad. Coming back was almost like a debut for me, says Njiri. Injured Nadal withdraws from an Australian Open. Wherever let Germany beats Swiatek, Poland clinches United Cup. Prabh Simran and Abhishek take the fight in Karnataka. Fight to Karnataka. Vaishali bowed about being fought of the candidate tournament. Nikhil Pujaya upbeat had his maiden AFC Asian Cup appearance. HI's 41 member co-probable group for junior women's camp. Milan has it easy against Empoli. Chennai's new superstars embracing pressure and allowing at the death. Paris Fate Hill 300th game proves Fortune favors the unyielding. IT Delhi team makes first is high risk landslide risk map for India. The Indian's landslide susceptibility map is the first of its kind by virtue of being on a national scale, leaving out no locations in the country. The map and the researchers' study will be published in the journal Catena in its February 2024 issue. A landslide in Krishnanagar was in Shimla on August 19th, 2023. Given the number of fatalities due to landslides, a national landslide susceptibility map can help identify the most dangerous areas and help allocate resources better. Panspermia, alive from one word to the next. Text and context, this is the last page, guys. Rohingyas camps which were gutted in the widespread fire. 1040. The number of NCC cadets joined the Navy as Agniveer 350. The number of US defense companies sanctioned by China 5. The number of journalists killed in the Israel-Gaza war 79. The discrepancies in GDP numbers for financial year 24. Rise in child marriages in West Bengal. Why are girls getting married early despite receiving an education? Have the cash incentives for girls to study not been effective? What is the feedback from the districts? Is it a social problem for a social political issue? What is the link between child marriage and poor maternal health? What has been the impact? It has become a somebody. How voice cloning through artificial intelligence is being used for scams. The voice clone fraud has been on the rise in India. A report published in May last year revealed that 47% of surveyed Indians have either been a victim or knew someone who had fallen prey to an AI generated voice scam. The numbers are almost twice the global average. January 8 is internationally observed as Typing Day, a quiz related to the same. This is the last page, guys. You guys, if you need want to know something about the AI intelligence, you guys can read. Otherwise, you can just keep reading the newspaper for 2 hours in a day to make you really very wonderful in English communication and also make you very fluent in English. So, if you guys have any doubts or comments, don't forget to leave the comment in the comment box and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for updates related to healthcare education and personal interviews, especially related to education. So see you in the upcoming videos, guys. Have a great day. Bye bye. Take care.